It's 8:42 here, 18 before 9.
Advisory services offered through Second Half Financial Partners, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The opinions voiced and information provided in this material are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments are appropriate for you, please consult with a financial advisor. Second Half Financial Partners, LLC does not provide tax or legal advice. Please consult your tax or legal advisor regarding your particular situation.
And you should. It's time to check in on your market and find out what your money's doing today on Wall Street with the help of Philip Statler from Statler Financial Services in downtown Sebring. Good morning, Philip. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Dave. Doing well today. Hope you are too. As we, getting ready to close out this week. It's been a, kind of a, I don't know, for the most part, it's been a down week, and it ended up that way yesterday, even though we thought it looked like we were going to have a great day yesterday. But definitely off from the highs yesterday. And it looks like maybe we'll bounce this morning unless some bad news comes out during the middle of the day somewhere.
Or some good news, because actually the thing brought us down yesterday after starting out with party time with a really, really pleasantly surprising jobs report from the January unemployment numbers. We went down an unemployment rate. We added a ton more jobs than expected. Then a little bit later on, and you can see it on the curve, we started out way up, and then by 10 o'clock we'd fallen like a rock, because then we got revisions, and the Bureau of Statistics revised 2025's job growth, which was bad to begin with. We only added about 584,000 jobs during the entire year of 2025. Then they changed that number down to just 181,000 jobs added to the economy all danged year last year. I'm surprised people weren't jumping out of windows instead of just trading the Dow down by 67, Standard & Poor's by 34 cents, NASDAQ down by $36, but it was a big turnaround from the way it opened, wasn't it?
It was, and so maybe that's because it had some cushion there to come down, so that made the losses not quite so bad yesterday. It would be nice. We got 2 days left in this week. It'd be nice to finish on a positive note this week.
Well, yeah, and looking at the futures this morning, it's almost like they went through and they read things and they kind of shifted gears from bad news is bad news to bad news is good news. The impact, of course, of a positive jobs report is that there'll be less of a likelihood of the Federal Reserve changing course as far as interest rates are concerned. After that revision downward on 2025 jobs, it says, oh, yeah, the employment market really is hinky right now. So it almost looks like traders are saying, well, maybe it's going to give us a better chance of an interest rate cut, because all of a sudden things went positive for no discernible reason either, right?
Well, that's right. So, I am seeing, and I've listened to a couple analysts talk about, the whole software deal, software companies, and how AI is really, you mentioned AI and software companies, and anything comes out saying AI is going to take over part of it, it just devastates the software market. And one of the analysts I was listening to said, it's really, these are solid companies. There may be some things that AI can take over, but AI is not going to be able to take over most of these major software firms. I mean, just look at Microsoft's gotten killed year to date, and it's over AI concerns. Well, they're going to benefit from AI just as much as anybody else.
Absolutely, and that was probably why the head honcho of NVIDIA went out on the marketplace yesterday saying basically, hey, look, AI is just going to operate the software, and we're still going to need the software and everything. And Goldman Sachs ended up, it's coming out of Goldman Sachs, it sounded like that scene from Animal House when they had the riot at the end of the thing, and you had this one kid in the middle of the riot saying, everything is fine, don't worry, it's all under control. Everybody's trying to build up some confidence in software now. And It's interesting because it occurred to me yesterday. I had a question I wanted to get an answer to. Instead of using Google search like I was used to, I just powered up my Chat GPT app and asked it the same question. And yeah, frankly, I'm using AI more than I am traditional search as well. That's not good for the software side, is it?
No, it's not, because it gets rid of the ads, right? That's the key thing right there. You don't have to see the ads that everything pops up to. But again, it takes human eyes to discern still what all the AI bots are telling you. Even chat. You've got to still put some human eyes behind it, because it doesn't always pull the truth, right? It pulls from all different sectors. And so I think what we're going to find continually, I mean, yes, there are going to be things that AI can run and implement, but I think more than anything, AI is going to enhance the software that's already out there.
I think you're probably right on that. There's all the legends of the anecdotal stories about when AI can't figure out the answer, it makes junk up. But at the same time, yeah, there's going to be a shakeout on software, without a doubt. But is it going to kill the software business? I would say heck no. And it sounds to me like the big heads in the industry are basically saying the same thing.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that's kind of where we are right now.
Absolutely. We start the morning out with another basic indication that the job market is not really changing all that much. First-time unemployment claims kind of confirming that we're on an even keel. 227,000 first-time jobless claims last week, which pretty much, like we've been saying all along, is pretty much at that normal sifting and winnowing rate. So, big good news surprises like the January jobs number, and big disappointments like the 2025 revisions downward. On balance, we're still in that no hire, no fire economy again, aren't we?
Well, we are. I mean, there's still that need for employment. Everybody says AI is going to take over. Well, you still have to have people. We are still seeing some layoffs. Again, though, I think that the layoffs that we're hearing about are going to be systematic over the next 6 months. They're not going to be like all dumped at one time, because they're spread out throughout the country. And so different states have different laws about, the notice you have to give employees before you can lay them off, and such as that. And so I think that's not going to be like a big dump all at one time.
Absolutely. You got to keep in mind that with all the tech layoffs that we keep hearing about over in California and the state of Washington, you've got to pay somebody like 90 days and give them that much notice their job's going away. I mean, it's not that hard to find a job, especially in a high-demand occupation. So a whole lot of the layoffs we're reading, they're finding a job before their notice comes up. So consequently, we don't see it in the national figures.
Well, that's right, and which is good.
Absolutely. Sometimes those laws may be on the left side of the political fence, but when it actually happens to you, it's good news. Talking about earnings season continuing, we've got a bunch of companies that are reporting this week. The biggest household name that we could think of while we were chewing it through was McDonald's. I hear they're offering a Valentine's Day special of McNuggets and caviar this year.
That was gone in a heartbeat.
Yeah, was that celebrating a good report?
Hey, they did do well. They beat by about 7 cents a share, came in at $3.12. A revenue ahead of expectations. This is probably one of the big numbers right here. Same store sales in the United States increased by 6.8%. That's a pretty good big deal there for them. They're trying to revamp and reintroduce their extra value meals. And so
I was going to say that was something after a rough. I was going to say that was something after a rough quarter, a quarter or two back, that they decided to beef up their value meals. It sounds to me like that's working, doesn't it?
It does. It definitely does. So they're trading up this morning 1.4%.
Cool. Nice to see positive movement. What else have we got out there?
So let's look maybe a little bit more in the area of the Midwest. Let's look at Anheuser-Busch, InBev. And so they did better than expected by about 5 cents a share, came in at 95 cents a share revenue. about a half a billion, a little bit more than half a billion more than expected. So they are trading, at least they were, yep, trading higher about almost 2.8% this morning.
People must be buying Bud Light again. I'm glad that crisis is over.
Hey, another one, and in the business world, this is a common name. In personal computing, maybe not so much, but Cisco Systems. They're
Oh, yeah.
the network hardware manufacturer, maker, switches and that kind of stuff. Your router, maybe even a Cisco router. But they came in, their second quarter results exceeded their estimates on both the top and bottom line. And they had so they did say though that they're but well, I can't read what that is. That's losing me there. But they're down. I'm not sure exactly why. I was trying to read through the lines real quick, but they're down about 6.25% this morning. So something in their report, I think it's their gross margin. That's what it is. The gross margin was about 7% less than expected.
I'm going to bet a nickel that relates to the memory chip shortage because the prices on memory chips are going up. They do use a lot of memory in the big switches and routers that they do, but there's a whole lot of memory in a lot of other high-tech hardware. And I'll bet a nickel we're going to hear a lot more about that as the other hardware manufacturers report.
It could very, very well be that's really what's kind of causing that to happen there. I thought this was interesting. Magnum ice cream. I don't have the stock price right now, other than what it did this morning. You know, Magnum ice cream was spun off to an independent company from Unilever, and so this is their first reporting year, and they missed. They missed on both the top and bottom line. And they projected weaker than expected growth in this next year as well. They're trading down, or at least earlier this morning. I can't get their exact quote right now, but they were down 14% earlier this morning.
My bet is they really need a heat wave somewhere to sell some more ice cream.
Yeah, there's not been a heat wave, has there?
No, the last 4 weeks, ice cream is about the last thing in the world I've thought about. we need warm weather to sell. And I've never even heard of Magnum ice cream, but I figure that nobody doing well selling ice cream right now.
It's pretty good.
Absolutely. Oh, I should make note of the fact that Bitcoin is recovering in a sort. It's up to 67.9 something or another today, which I still feel sorry for the poor birds that bought it at 120. Flat day yesterday, everything being on average on Wall Street, a little bit with a red tinge. 45 minutes before we open this morning, what are we looking at?
They've got some green ink, at least on the index side. The Dow Jones Industrial 30 up 1/3%, S&P 500 up almost 0.4, NASDAQ 100 up a little over 0.4, and then the Russell 2000 up almost 0.7%. So nice green numbers to start the day. On the other side of the coin, though, we got silver trading down about 1.25%. Gold's up a little less than 0.1%. Crude oil down a little over 0.6% to $64.21 a barrel. I think it's maybe $1 or so less than yesterday.
Yeah, I think it is. It's down from yesterday. I'm just glad to stop seeing the trend upward for at least one day or so. Looking across the ponds, the Asian Rim market on balance not unhappy. Hong Kong had a bad day, but the mainland Chinese markets both were up at the close. Looking over at Europe, they're also relatively optimistic. The average European index, and let's see, I'm solid green. Everybody's in the green. The average European index up about 0.5% halfway through the European trading day. Getting my retirement plans together, I need advice. How do I get a hold of you to make my retirement happen the way I planned it to?
Dave, planning is a big deal, even when it comes to not just retirement planning, but charitable giving and those type of things are all part of the process that we walk through when it comes to retirement planning. Give us a call at 863-382-0037 to schedule your core retirement design. And then join us this weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk, 7:30 a.m., 95.3 FM.
All righty, we got the CPI and a whole lot more tomorrow morning. I'll be here to update everybody with that as well. I think you got a long weekend ahead of you, so you have a pleasant one, my friend.
All right, buddy. Take care. I'll talk to you on Tuesday.
Got you covered. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services. Philip Statler.
Imagine for a moment.
Hey, folks, again, I want to thank you for joining us today. Have a great weekend. I look forward to talking to you all next week. Until then, so long.